question is, how risky is the oral sex?
Diseases love warm, moist environments. You have a huge risk of catching lots of diseases by kissing people. Did you know that? You can get herpes, you can get syphilis, really easily. Weirdly, HIV, almost impossible to catch from oral sex. Almost impossible, even if you're the person performing the oral sex, which is the riskier position. But when I say riskier, I mean like this risky. And just to show you that I'm not just saying this, I'm not like a cheerleader for oral sex or something like that. There's reasons that HIV just doesn't transmit by oral sex. And when I say doesn't, yes, there's that 1 in a billion lightning strike chance. I can tell you actual cases of the few people we know who we believe were infected through oral sex. One of them was a gentleman who gave oral sex to over 1,000 men in a park in the course of a couple of months. So now we're talking about not oral sex, but we're talking about drowning in sexual fluids. And another one was a young lady who liked to perform oral sex on her HIV positive, untreated boyfriend, even though she was herself suffering from esophageal ulcers from secondary gonorrhea. What does that mean? Open sores at the back of her throat. In these really weird extreme examples, yes, there is a risk of HIV transmission. But for most of us, it's just this simple. As long as there's more saliva in your mouth than sexual fluids, it's almost impossible for HIV to transmit. There are protections built into the saliva. They weren't even put there to block HIV because HIV didn't exist yet. They're back from eons ago. They perform other functions that happen to block HIV from being able to get in. One is a glycoprotein called thrombospondin. What is thrombospondin? Have you ever pricked your finger like with a needle or a thumbtack? What's the first thing you do? Yeah. Why am I doing this? Do I like the taste of my blood? Stop blood flow. It does. And how do we know that? It's built into us from eons ago. Thrombospondin helps wounds to heal by binding blood cells together. And some of the places it's binding them is where HIV wants to go. So does secretory leukocyte protease inhibitor. In fact, same thing, heavy molecular weight glycoprotein binds where HIV wants to go. We invented a class of medications based upon protease inhibitors. Then what if you have a cut or a nick in your gums, and so your blood cells are at the surface? HIV can't survive in saliva. It bursts. We call it hypotonic disruption. So the virus falls apart before it can get into the cells. And then there's also human beta defensins 1 and 2. All these things, it's like fighting an opposing team in soccer and you have 92 goalies at the net. Could they score on you? I mean, maybe once in a million years, but really not if you have 92 goalies at the net. So oral sex without a condom, you do have a risk of herpes. You do have a risk of syphilis. You do have a risk of bad breath on you. But you don't have a risk of HIV. Not